If you've turned on any sports channel over the past few months, you've probably heard of the Houston Astros scandal. In 2017, the Astros filmed other teams so they could steal signs. Basically, they would study the signs the opposing pitchers would give their pitchers and anticipate the coming pitches to have an advantage at bat. Some people think this is abhorrent, and some think it's not that big of a deal. I'm not here to give my 2 cents on the matter because nobody cares what I think. I'm just here to break down what types of cheating are and aren't acceptable in Major League Baseball. Because some methods of cheating are overlooked or even embraced by MLB, while others warrant harsh penalties. So, what kind of cheating is good and what kind is bad? Let's get into it.
Oh, hey! Thanks for coming out! Hi! Oh my goodness, thanks so much! Oh, what does your sign say?
Cheating in baseball is not a new fad. Numerous players, managers, and teams as a whole have looked for ways to get an edge over the competition since the game's inception. One of the oldest methods of quote-unquote cheating is by doctoring the field. In the 1890s, the Baltimore Orioles grounds crew would often mix the dirt in front of home plate with clay and wouldn't water the area. The Orioles would use this hardened area to bounce balls high off the ground when bunting, giving rise to the term the Baltimore Chop for infield hits aided by this technique. Other methods of doctoring the field include wetting and loosening the dirt near first base, and letting the grass grow a little higher than normal if a sinker ball pitch is on the mound for the home team. Doctoring the field in minor ways like this is completely legal in baseball, though it happens less in the modern day as ballparks cost hundreds of millions of dollars and are always kept to perfection. Another method of cheating that has persisted in baseball for over 100 years is the spitball. This is when pitchers apply saliva, Vaseline, or anything really slippery to the ball to alter the wind resistance or movement of a pitch. This one was banned in 1920, but it still happens. One of the most notable baseball players to utilize this method of cheating was former Indians pitcher and Hall of Famer Gaylord Perry, who admitted to concealing petroleum jelly on his pants zipper because he knew umpires wouldn't check there. He even named his autobiography, Me and the Spitter. So yeah, this guy really liked spitballs, I guess. While slippery substances are banned, sticky ones are also banned, but not as severely, maybe, sometimes. It's the whole thing. MLB's ban of foreign substances on the ball technically include pine tar. And if you're caught with it, you're getting ejected. But it's not always caught, even when it's obviously there. Pine tar and similar sticky substances can improve grip and increase spin. In today's game, it's quite prevalent. Some players, like ex-Tigers lefty Kenny Rogers, get caught and get away with it. Rogers was photographed with what appears to be pine tar on his pitching hand in the 2006 World Series, but faced no repercussions. Others, though, are not so lucky, like Yankees pitcher Michael Pineda, who was ejected at Fenway Park and suspended for 10 games after the Red Sox pointed out a spot of pine tar on his neck. This guy didn't even try to hide it. I mean, you could see it from like every camera on the field. It was ridiculous. Scuffing the ball is also a no-no. This is when a pitcher uses thumbtacks or sandpaper to scuff baseballs. Messing with the surface of the ball can lead to a variety of movements the pitcher can manipulate. Thumbtacks have been found hidden in gloves and belts, and sandpaper's been found taped to hands. In 1987, Joe Niekro was ejected from a game after an umpire caught him with emery board and sandpaper in his pocket while pitching for the Minnesota Twins. If you want to cheat legally though, pitch framing is an effective way to go, though it's not easy. It's also not easy to define, because not everyone agrees on what exactly pitch framing is. But in a nutshell, pitch framing is making a pitch that is not a clear strike look like one to the umpire behind the plate. The catcher makes this happen, based on the way he receives the ball. With a subtle movement of the wrist, a good catcher can drag the ball closer toward the strike zone and full an ump. It's totally legal, and it's absolutely cheating. But want to know what isn't totally legal? Corked bats. Actually, they're not legal at all. I don't know why I said it that way. This has to be one of the dumbest ways to cheat, because it doesn't even work. Physics don't support this, really at all. So it's kind of stupid, but you still see it. Basically, a corked bat is a hollowed out bat. Players have done it since the 70s to increase swing speed, but it also decreases the bat's mass, so you take away a major factor of driving the ball farther. Still, many players believe corking a bat creates a trampoline effect and propels balls farther, but that's just not really true. As utilizing corked bats is one of the least effective ways to cheat, let's talk about the most effective: performance-enhancing drugs. Injecting testosterone, human growth hormone, or steroids can make you a heck of a ball player. It will also get you in serious trouble if you're caught. From the late 90s to early 2000s, performance enhancers were everywhere in baseball. And despite serious action being taken to prevent it over the last 20 years, they're still around today. Yeah, I mean, using steroids is cheating, and cheating is bad, or whatever, but more importantly, they're dangerous and have a lot of bad side effects. And I mean more than just making you less impressive where it counts. You know what I'm talking about. Steroids shrink the size of every man's pride, their beer bellies. I mean, how are you going to get a girlfriend in 2020 without a dad bod? Yeah, you might have abs and a multi-million-dollar contract with a storied franchise, but that's not what women want. Take it from me. My mom told me that personally. So in conclusion, cheating is bad. Unless it's not, then it's fine. So if you want to cheat, just be smart about it and not so obvious.